Cool. Where are you putting that thing? Hi, I'm Nigel Reeve from Devinci Global Racing. I've been Stevie's mechanic since 2011, and this is his bike check. Ruffian MX grips. Stevie likes that little waffle underneath his fingers for a bit more grip.
Just talk through his lever position. They seem to be a pretty kind of 4 o'clock position.
4 o'clock at the moment, probably 3:30 later on when I put the bike on the ground. Yeah, not super high like a lot of kids are running today, somewhere in the middle.
And what about his finger position? Is it all the way in or is it out quite a lot? Or?
It's fairly close, but far enough out that you still get a good solid feeling brake.
So there's a bit of room on the knuckles then?
Yeah, just a little bit. Bar width 770 millimeters. Bar height, the 30 mil rise Stevie signature bars. What was the last one?
Stem?
50 mil Truvative stem.
Nigel, notice that the fork is dropped quite high here, but also there's very little spaces in the fork setup. Do you change that throughout the year much, or is that standard?
We've been trying to keep the fork in one place as far as where the stanchions are set this season, which is low as possible to try and get the centre of gravity down. Unfortunately, because of a short head tube, that leaves us with a wee bit sticking out the top, which isn't ideal. Maybe in the future he might have a 20 mil rise signature bar, and that means we can bring the crown up a little bit.
But generally what we're seeing here is the setup for the year, right?
Yeah, this is our base setting, and it's been so far so good.
Okay, it's quite interesting that Stevie's bars are quite a long way forward. When you look at like Brosnan's and Gwyn's, they tend to run their bars quite a long way back, so Stevie's bars in a...
Pretty much in line.
Actually, should we put the bike up right a bit? Actually, no, they are quite upright, aren't they?
They are quite upright. I think maybe due to his BMX background when he was a kid. I don't really have an answer for that. It's just where he likes them, so I'll put them there.
In terms of suspension front and rear, who makes the calls, and when do you make the calls on suspension setup?
It's Stevie's call at the end of the day, just like anything else. And hopefully we try and make the calls early on in the weekend so he can get used to any changes.
But do you do things early in the year and stick to them, or is there kind of constant change? What's happening?
We try and test early in the year and get a base setup that we have some confidence in that'll be adjustable enough for most of the tracks we go to.
So standard boxer, what we're talking pressure wise and token spacer settings?
3 tokens, 110 psi. I think we're 6 clicks from closed on compression and 7 from closed on rebound.
Can we move on to wheels? What's Stevie's typical wheel setup for the year? What does he use? Magic Marys, or does he get some Dirty Dans going on? Or?
Most of the time Stevie's on Magic Marys until the mud gets pretty deep. He's pretty happy on these. Likes the consistency on the things like roots and so on compared to the spikes.
Pressure wise?
Pressure wise, 26 front, 28 rear.
Okay. Going back to the Eastern wheels here, the aluminium rims, are we talking 24 front, 28 back, right?
Yep, bang on.
Yeah. Do you not have to know the rim widths here?
I think it's 29 millimeters. That's what I've been telling people anyway.
Okay. Do you guys ever kind of test with the Eastern carbon stuff, or is it always aluminium?
They do have carbon in their enduro wheels range, but our enduro team runs aluminium just for the reliability through an enduro weekend with the stickering of rims and so on. But we've only had aluminium for downhill, which is probably better, I think.
It's quite funny, like a lot of the teams here, Mondrake, Specialized, they tend to use the kind of the lighter weight enduro rims rather than the kind of heavier wide downhill stuff, and that's so this is a standard Eastern Havoc wheel set, right?
Yep, absolutely standard as you'd get out of the factory.
And no changes to wheel tensions or anything like that, just bog standard?
We normally back tension off a little bit, lose a bit of reliability, but it helps the bike track a little bit better through the rough stuff.
Okay, fantastic. Tubeless?
Tubeless front.
Oh, tube rear?
2 valves on the rear. This is what we run that doesn't go flat.
Okay, to expand on that?
It's been around since 2009. It's inner tube, inside tubeless. When you pinch out the inner tube, you have a tubeless system to get you down the hill.
Okay, great. So Nigel, quickly through transmission. We've got a 36 up front EXO DH just a basic XODH setup, yeah?
Yeah, just normal XODH carbon cranks, 170mm for Stevie, and the new one-piece SRAM chainring, which is pretty nice, a little bit lighter.
That's all. Let's go through now. Aluminium frame
With a
carbon seat stay, right?
Yep.
Stevie's on a size-wise.
This is just a standard L, large.
And do you ever do any changes to do you put any angle sets or offsets or anything like that in the bike?
We have those on hand. So far with this bike, we haven't needed to, because we kind of picked in the middle with the head angle and so on.
Okay. Pedals?
Pedals, just Crank Brothers Mallet DHs. These ones have seen a few rocks recently, but they're still going strong.
And does PT Sorry, and does Stevie ever change his seat height, or is that prefixed?
That's pretty fixed.
With the plastic bag or without?
It depends on whether he's incontinent or not. Depends on what he had for dinner.
What's the idea going on here with the bags on the calipers?
Bags on the calipers just so when we're servicing the bike, there's no chance of getting any silicone spray or chain lever or anything.
What calipers have we got here?
Running Avid Code calipers on the new guide lever.
Brake pads?
No.
You don't run brake pads?
No, it's lighter, isn't it?
What material brake pads do you use?
Running organic steel backed rear and organic aluminium backed front.
Okay. Fantastic thing we got, haven't we? We covered everything?
Yeah, you didn't cover the rear shock, but that's about it.
Okay, so we need to get Stevie to say his height, weight, and so Stevie's what? He's kind of 75 kilos?
78 kilos, about so high.
Quickly go through the shock setup.
RockShox Vivid coil, compressions 2 from closed, rebounds 4 from closed, with an SA 375 high performance steel spring.
High performance steel. Does he ever do air on the back?
No.
Perfect. That's it, Winder. Thanks, Nigel.
No worries, mate.